In this video demonstration, I'm going to show you a quick card or a way to use the fantastic new Canard Edges by the John Next Door collection. So this is the dies you see in the packet. Obviously, these are the dies themselves. They're obviously a lot larger than the packet because we make the packets as small as possible to contain them so that we're eco-friendly as much as we can be. And you always see on the back and on the front, there's always an example card or a sample that you could try to make with it. But today I'm just going to use these relatively simply to make a project. So to get started, what I've done is I've cut down some of the Crafts2 linen card and I've chosen blues and whites. So I think I've got white, I've got baby blue, light blue, turquoise, jeans and denim. I've also cut down 2 pieces of white and I've got a smaller piece for the back. Now this is the important measurement. This is 5 inches by 7 inches, which will be the finished front piece of the card. So I'm going to pop that to one side. But the rest of the pieces I've just simply cut down to 5 inches wide because we're going to let the dies themselves determine the length of the pattern. And we're going to start with this dark denim colour. So I'm going to start with that one. And I'm going to show you first of all each layer I want to show you something a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this die, and there are 2 of these. Each one is a different sort of shape. If you look, they're not exactly the same. They're designed to give you that little bit of difference. And this have the punch out circles and then the sort of scalloped edge along them. So you just need to make sure that you've got the scalloped edge at the bottom of the piece you want to cut. And I'm simply going to put that along about, I would say about 1 inch down from one side, and keep them nice and straight. And you can use the grid lines on your board just to give you a nice sort of straight edge. So I'm going to pop that down. I'm simply going to tape that on and I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine. I'm using my Kaleido, as every single die in this set is perfect to go into an A5 machine. In fact, if you're making smaller pieces, you can use some of the smaller machines. So we're just going to cut that. And you'll see when I take it off, this will cut on a 5-inch strip, the perfect top and matching bottom piece for this. So again, you could simply put these against a piece of white card and give yourself a beautiful aperture stamp into that, put flowers in that, whatever you want to do. But for this one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop the waste pieces. I've designed a die that will actually give you all of these little holes or these circles in a different colour. So I'm going to take a piece of white. So this is again another piece of white ripped down to 5 inches wide. And I'm going to apply a little bit of spray glue to the back of the card. Now I'm using spray glue because if I use a wet glue, this is going back through the die cutting machine. It could squish out. So I'm just going to glue that on so it's fixed. I then take the matching edger die, and there's 2 of these, so check which one is right. And I'm going to push that up until it clicks into place. And what I mean is it will go no further. And I'm going to take this down twice because I don't want it to move. And this will give me the perfect edge for that. So all I then need to do, just going to clean my boards off, again, is to run that through my Kaleido. And I've got my machine at the side, so I'll just run that through quickly so that you can, so that it does it. And what you'll see then is we get, remove the tape carefully because it's had a lot of pressure now. So obviously we've gone for 2 layers, so you don't want to tear it. There we go, 1 and 2. So what I now get is a beautiful piece that has the white dots behind it. So you can see here against the blue, I've got a completely different colour behind with no edging or anything and no hand cutting. Life's far too short for hand cutting. But of course what I've got then is, I've got my first piece, but I also then have a spare white piece that matches. So again, the beginning of another card or another project with a really nice little S across it. and I'll take the next colour in the set and just show you then what we could achieve. So put those together, and again, really nice and simple card, little sentiment on it, and you're done. So next we're going to take the next colour down, which I believe is the jeans. And this time I'm going to use this double stripe. So I'm going to place this on top against the top. I'm going to take the double stripe die, and I call it that because it's got a cut line in the middle and 2 rows of smaller dots either side so that both pieces are attractive. And I'm just going to lay that on, giving a nice even space be through. And we're simply going to run that through. So once again, onto my Kaleido, and these dies are so well made, they don't need to go on the side, they don't need to run down, they will just cut really simply through your machine with one pass. I always go forward and back anyway. So we'll take that out, there we go. You can see there, again, the same. Each piece is just as attractive. So if I just take out a couple of little dots, they'll all come out really easily because each one is a cut hole. But you'll see now we go on to the next piece. And again, you've got a spare piece here, which will match. And I'll show you at the end what we do with these spare pieces. If I just line it up, you'll see again, and pop that white in, we're getting a twofer, and you could build it up. There's so many different patterns you can achieve just by playing with just 1 or 2 of these. So again, we go down to the next colour, and this is the turquoise. I'm going to pop that to one side, place this one exactly on the top, and this time I'm going to go with the plain stripe. So nope, not right. But again, that would be even. I can do it the other way to give me something a little bit different. To give me, and you can cut it at any direction you want. So again, I'm going to leave it about 1 inch or so and pop that down, and we will cut that one. So again, simply run it through your machine, whichever die cutting machine you've got. And these dies will work in all leading die cutting machines. A die is a die. So again, piece of waste, which isn't, and another piece. I'm then going to go down to the next little scalloped one, because again, this can be used on its own. So I'm going to take the next colour down again. We'll move that piece away, place that one on the top, just like that. And we'll pop the scalloped one on. There we go. And we'll tape that, and we'll run that one through and cut that. So all I'm doing each time is changing the colour and going down by about 1 inch each time. Make something really simple and effective. And I'm sure your mind's racing. I know mine was as soon as I started playing with these, as to all the different combinations I could come up with. So waste to one side, and we can see now again how we go on. I'm going to take then the final colour, which is this light blue or baby blue. And again, take that piece off, get that one even to the top, take the final die I haven't used, which again is another scalloped one, making sure that the scallops are at the bottom, placing it approximately 1 inch down, tape, and we cut. So this is thankfully the final cut I need to do. So that's been run through. We'll pull that away. Waste to one side, and you see again we've got that beautiful edge with the holes in it. This time we're not going to put a colour behind it. We could do, but I like the idea of having them all different. So if I bring in my white piece, so this has been cut to 5 by 7 to make a nice size. So no measuring, but it already fits, and each time it's a different card. So white onto that one, take the next shade up and layer that on, the next shade and layer that on, the next shade, and so on. So we would effectively have the waves. It almost looks like the ocean. I mean, either way you could have that. It really does look different. So what I've already done is I wanted to put a little bit of foam mounting onto these, just so that we get that definition. So what I've done is I've already pre-cut these, and I've added 2mm of foam tape on. So I'm just going to put the light blue on the white, and then going with the mid blue or the sky blue. I really do need to teach myself the names fully of all of these. So that goes on evenly. Then the turquoise. Again, 1mm foam tape. So 2mm foam tape, tape on. Then I go to the jeans. And then finally the denim. And again, so each layer has foam tape on. And if you can see, I've put a strip along the back and then 2 little pieces to support it. For the longer pieces, there's a little bit more in there. So we just put that on. But you can see now that definition you get between the different layers. So I've got a little card blank I've made here. And all I've done is cut a matten layer on this at 5.5 by 7.5. I've used the darker blue, the denim, and I've cut that to, I can always get this right, 5 1/4 plus 1/8, so 5 6/8 by 7 6/8, give me that little 1/16 of an inch border all the way round. We simply frame that into the centre, and there is our completed base card. Either way, I'm ready for us to decorate with different sentiments and flowers and everything else, and I'll probably put some flowers on this in one of the flower videos. But again, as I said, you have then waste pieces left. So we have all of these pieces left, and again a little bit of white even in that one. So those you can just flat glue down to make the alternative, and I think they look very, very different. So here we're going from light to dark to white, and here we're going from dark with white to white with lighter. But each one of these would actually fit in with the other, but the way it's cut, it looks as if that one, the turquoise, has been cut scalloped, and it hasn't. So that's using the brand new canard edges from the John Next Door collection.